Now at 6 and streaming on CrossroadsToday.com, the search continues across Texas for a missing 10-year-old boy.
The man convicted of killing a 5-year-old girl is set for execution tonight.
And authorities identify the man who shot and killed an Austin police officer.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Where'd the sunshine go? The clouds rolled in. Actually, they're coming at us from that storm out in California. So we're going to be on the mild side, but there is some cooler weather coming in just in time for Thanksgiving. I'll have all that coming up in a moment.
And the Atlanta Cowboys have its biggest matchup of the year. We have the latest in sports.
You're watching 25 News now at 6. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Don Brubaker.
And I'm Karina Garcia.
A Refugio man was found guilty of manslaughter. The Refugio County Press reports 25-year-old Robert Frazier was convicted in the 2021 death of 26-year-old Andrew Williams. On November 15, 2021, Williams' body was found. Officers responded to a call of a shooting at a residence in the 100 block of Mesquite Street.
Wednesday night, Victoria police arrested 28-year-old Darren Luna on charges of evading arrest. Court records show Luna arrested several times since 2012. Luna is at the Victoria County Jail, held in lieu of a $10,000 bond. A 3-vehicle wreck slowed down traffic this morning along two of Victoria's busiest streets. Victoria police said a 3-vehicle wreck took place just before 10 this morning at the intersection of Navarro and Mockingbird. Officer Brogger with the Victoria Police Department said the first vehicle ignoring the traffic signal caused the chain reaction wreck.
There was a white Toyota that was southbound on North Navarro Street. A gray Toyota Prius and a black Ford F-150 were both eastbound on Mockingbird. The white Toyota ran the red light, which caused the crash.
2 people were taken to a local hospital for non-life-threatening injuries.
Authorities are searching for 10-year-old Ian Aguilar, the man wanted in his disappearance. The suspect vehicle was found abandoned at a Houston bus station. An Amber Alert for Ian Aguilar was issued Tuesday night in Wilmer, south of Dallas. Authorities want 38-year-old Juan Aguilar Cano, who is also wanted in connection with the death of Ian's mother. Call 911 if you have any information.
A jury deliberated for 3 hours today, finding Texas yoga instructor Caitlin Armstrong guilty of murder in the fatal shooting of 25-year-old Anna Mariah Moe Wilson. She was found suffering from multiple gunshot wounds at a friend's home in Austin. Prosecutors argued there was a love triangle between Armstrong, Wilson, and Armstrong's then boyfriend, Colin Strickland. They claim Armstrong shot Wilson in a fit of jealous rage. The defense argued the evidence was all circumstantial. Armstrong had escaped to Costa Rica, where she was arrested by U.S. Marshals after a 45-day search. She could face life in prison. And now let's take a look at your forecast with Chief Meteorologist Mac Bettis.
Well, thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. You know, yesterday we talked about that big storm out on the west coast. Well, get a load of this cloud deck that rolled in on top of us. There you are, and you can sort of follow it. And you can follow it. It comes all the way from the Pacific. So that is part of that big storm out there. The question is, when does it get through and what happens for Thanksgiving? We'll be talking about that and talking about the cooler weather that we expect for Thanksgiving. All that coming up in just a moment. Stay tuned. Back to you.
Mac, thank you. With Israeli military officials declaring northern Gaza under their control, the battle lines could be moving south. The Israeli military dropped leaflets Wednesday warning civilians in communities near southern Gaza's largest city to move to known shelters.
This as Israeli troops continue their search of Gaza's largest hospital, and new waves of demonstrations and protests rise in several U.S. cities.
There is an AK-47. There are cartridges, ammo.
The Israel Defense Forces releasing video it claims shows a cache of weapons, ammo, and other tools of war used by Hamas. Found, the IDF says, inside Gaza's Al-Shifa hospital, where Israeli troops are searching for a second day. CNN hasn't been able to independently verify those claims, and Hamas and hospital officials deny the hospital is being used as a command center. U.S. officials say evidence at the site is strong.
We're confident, based on our own intelligence analysis, that the basement areas of that hospital, underneath that hospital, and the hospital itself, is being used by Hamas as a command and control node.
In the U.S., divisions over the war sparking more run-ins between groups and law enforcement. A demonstration in D.C. overnight escalated to one person being arrested, 6 officers being injured, and some congressional members temporarily evacuated. Morning rush hour in Boston blocked by a pro-Israeli group demanding a ceasefire in Gaza.
It is a scary time to be a Jewish person.
In San Francisco Wednesday, demonstrators converged near where President Joe Biden was speaking at the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit. Many here said they hoped their actions would lead to meaningful change.
But if it's not, we will be back in the streets, and the pressure is only going to increase.
I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
The Gaza death toll Thursday shows at least 11,000 Palestinians killed in Israeli strikes on Gaza since October 7th. Of those killed, about 4,700 are children. Another roughly 29,000 people have been injured.
The body of an Israeli hostage was found near Shifa Hospital. The Army statement said the body of Yehudit Weiss was recovered from what it called a structure near the Shifa Hospital complex in Gaza City. The statement offered no details of how she died, and it is not clear what condition the structure was in when the soldiers found the body. The Hostages and Missing Persons Families Forum said Yehudit Weiss was a 65-year-old grandmother. Her husband, Shmuel, was killed in the Hamas attack on October 7th. A Texas inmate convicted of strangling a 5-year-old girl abducted from an El Paso Walmart and then burning her body is scheduled for execution tonight. 53-year-old David Renteria was condemned for the November 2001 death of Alexandra Flores. Alexandra was Christmas shopping with her family when she was abducted. Her body was found the next day in an alley 16 miles from the store. Renteria was a convicted sex offender on probation at the time of the killing. Attorneys for Renteria asked the U.S. Supreme Court to halt his execution, which is set to take place in Huntsville. Austin police have identified the victims and named the suspect in last Saturday's shooting that killed senior officer Jorge Pastor. KVUE reports the suspect was 35-year-old Ahmed Nasser. 2 apparent victims of Nasser were found inside the home. Nasser was also pronounced dead at the scene. Austin PD found inside the house night vision goggles, body armor, guns, and bomb-making materials.
Nate Paul, the Austin real estate investor tied to Attorney General Ken Paxton's impeachment, pleaded not guilty to 4 wire fraud charges filed this month. The 4 November counts were stacked on top of 8 initial counts of making false statements to lending institutions. In the latest counts related to wire fraud, Paul is accused of sending false statements to business partners. Paul pleaded not guilty to the first 8 federal counts in June. Texas Governor Greg Abbott appears posed to endorse former President Donald Trump. 2 sources say it's likely to happen when they visit the border city of McAllen Sunday. Abbott and Trump are set to discuss the future of immigration. The former president says he wants to revive border restrictions from his last term in office.
A federal judge seems wary of the state banning TikTok on public university campuses. You can read the Texas Tribune article on our website, crossroadstoday.com. And remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell so you can see Crossroads Today on YouTube. Stay with us. A family-owned business in El Campo set to hold an auction this Saturday. That's coming up on 25 News Now at 6.
Also ahead, auto workers in Arlington work up a deal with General Motors.
United Auto Workers members voted Thursday to ratify the union's labor contract deal with General Motors. KXAS reports the GM factory in Arlington, with about 5,000 workers, voted more than 60% to approve the deal. A majority of big GM UAW plants rejected the tentative contract agreement. The ratification votes ended a roughly 6-week UAW strike against the so-called Big Three automakers.
Tonight at 10, Trey Story, a 25 News Now Extra, dives into meteorologist Trey Mining's personal journey with Parkinson's. For your viewer poll this evening, we want to know, which aspect of Parkinson's disease do you want to learn more about? According to our results, it looks like the one with the highest percentage is early diagnosis. I believe that says at 81%. Thank you for voting. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part. And of course, we're going to have an update later on 25 News Now at 10.
A family-owned business in El Campo has a ranch and construction equipment auction this Saturday.
25 News Now Weekend anchor Adam Seibel takes a closer look at G&A auctions.
You start off $100 demand, $2 demand, $3 demand, $4 demand, $5 demand, $6 demand, $7.
Colt Adams, along with his brother and friend, founded G&A Auctions in 2014. Located in El Campo, G&A Auctions has been selling farming equipment to the Crossroads and beyond.
We take pretty much anything that's of good quality. If it's a vehicle, it has to have a title, and we take tractors. Anything farm, ranch, construction related, we try to find a market for it and get it sold.
They started in Markham and have grown since.
Business has been very good, We grew up in the farm, ranch, and construction areas, so we knew a lot of the people that had equipment, and we started out, we had about 40 to 50 pieces, and now we try to sell anywhere from 800 to 1,500 pieces a sale.
A handshake means a lot at G&A Auctions, so they say they operate with honesty and integrity.
We value ourselves in honesty and trustworthy, and try to do what we say we're going to do. So we value ourselves in that.
Colt is the auctioneer and learned from the best.
I went to a school in Eufaula, Oklahoma with Ralph Wade. He's a world champion auctioneer. And I sat in a few days in a hotel with him and learned the auction method.
Even through the COVID-19 pandemic, there was a market because farmers need their equipment. They also sell online, so people all over the world now buy their farming equipment from El Campo.
With the online bidding platform, we sell out of state, we sell other countries. I mean, it's a big world now with the online bidding platform. Krista has a map inside, and we put a thumbnail on every place we've been.
They couldn't do it alone, with help from Ryan Services in El Campo right behind their business.
Very good people. I have to say they've been a big deal in our life. I mean, they do it all right here at Ryan Services. Yes, sir.
Their quarterly auction is this Saturday, November 18th, starting at 9 a.m.
You can find tractors, trucks, cotton pickers, shredders, disc, anything farm, ranch, construction related. We have dozers, motor graders. We have it all here on Saturday.
You might be surprised at their inventory, and you'll be supporting a local family-owned business. Reporting in El Campo, I'm Adam Seibel, KAVU-TV 25 News Now.
The G&A Farm, Ranch, and Construction Equipment Auction is this Saturday, just 2 days from now at 9 a.m. They're located at Ryan Services, 26620 U.S. Highway 59 in El Campo. For any questions, you can give them a call at 361-920-1618, and you can talk fast. They'll understand you.
Yeah, who'll give me all that stuff. I remember seeing that with my grandpa, so it's always kind of fun. Anyway, good morning, everybody. We're looking at 59 degrees. It was supposed to be up into the 70s today. What happened when the clouds rolled in? We only got up to 66 as opposed to the 75 that I had forecast. The clouds are coming in from the west. This is part of that west storm. Obviously, no rain yet. We are doing 34.16, only 2 below our seasonal average. And we'll talk about that California storm because it's that cloud you see up there, that's where it came from. We'll talk more about that coming up in a moment. Welcome back, everybody. Well, you see the cloud deck that's on top of us. I mean, the sun just sort of went away. It was so nice the last couple of days, but that's actually coming at us all the way from the west coast. You can see it right about there. This is that big storm on the west coast that's pumping up the moisture. It's coming into our area already. So we're going to say the following. We'll be on the mild side in the low 70s for the next day or so, but not a lot of sun as this cloud deck just going to be getting thicker and thicker, and we watch that west coast storm finally do something. Now you can see very classically how the subtropical moisture is coming up ahead of that system and moving into Texas. Thing is, when does this get here? That's the big question. This is a very powerful storm out here. It's producing 25-foot seas out there, and so that's the one that pushed the first a surge of moisture into the west coast yesterday, and looks like more is coming in. The interesting part is this is now getting colder and colder, so a lot of that is going to be the first big snowstorm of the season for the mountains out west. And as far as we're concerned, you can see it coming straight up into our neighborhood, and so we're going to be looking for that cloud cover. Now, will it turn into rain? That's the big question. So we took Future Tracker and we went forward about 3 days, and you can see how the original one pulls away. The snowstorm does come ashore. By the time we get to Sunday, something's happening in Texas. And by the time we get to Monday, you can see how that whole thing comes ashore, and we do have a better shot at getting some sort of rain activity on Monday. At this point in time, it doesn't look like a big, huge total, you know, like more than an inch. Looks like maybe a third of an inch, but at least it'll come through here, giving us something. And then the good news is that behind it, when we get to Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we get a dry northwesterly flow, and so it may be cooler for Thanksgiving, but it won't be wet at this point in time. So we got all the way to Thursday there, and it shows clear skies for us. So that's kind of the way it looks like in the long term. Overnight, we're getting down into the mid-50s. Tomorrow we'll stay. I'm not sure we'll get up to 80. I think we'll stay about 75, and that's because of the cloud deck being so thick over the area. We've taken a look at our local forecast. We're looking at your day planner. For those of you in Fort Loaca, getting down to 55 tonight, up to 75 tomorrow with a little bit of sun, but a lot of cloud cover. And then 53 in Cuero, getting up to 77. Little bit of sun in the afternoon, but by and large, you're going to see more and more cloud cover pile up on top of us as that system starts moving. So sunny and mild. We'll still be in the mid-70s. I shouldn't call it sunny. I should have called it partly sunny. But then front Monday is the big question mark. There's a front coming in for sure. 30% chance of rain in the afternoon on Monday, then overnight, and then by Tuesday morning it starts pulling away. But we sure will be cooler and windy by the time we get to next week. As a matter of fact, all the way to Thanksgiving, looking for a high temperature staying in the low to mid 60s on Thanksgiving Day. Overnight lows getting down to the 40s. So it'll be sweater weather for Turkey Day. That's your 7-day forecast, reminding everybody we'll have a QR code. Love for you to scan that and put Crossroads Today on your phone. Here's Karina.
Thank you, Mac. And now here's Sports Director Gina Perez.
Thanks, Karina. The athlete of the week is hoping to lead his team to the regional round of playoffs. We hear from him after the break. At a crossroads, the Edna Cowboys are not far away from their home stadium as they get ready to take on the Jourdanton Indians tonight in Memorial Stadium. Sports reporter Zach Brown is live at Frostbank Field with the latest. Zach?
Yeah, thanks, Gino. We've got none other than head coach Jimmy Mitchell with us of the Edna Cowboys. And coach, you guys weren't happy with the way you played all year, but you guys have been rolling over the last month. How do you feel like you guys are playing right now at the most important part of the year?
Well, we hope we're playing our best right now. You know what I mean? I think everybody does. You want to be peaking at this time of year. Yeah, we've been playing well. I'm proud of the way our kids have been playing, and we need to play well tonight.
Now, I know that you guys have a tough opponent over there in Jourdanton. A lot of people chose Jourdanton and Edna. It was kind of split as to who would win this region. Right. And I can hear you guys talking over here. You guys know the intensity that it's going to take to be able to win this game. Just what's their mindset like as they get ready for the biggest game of the year?
Well, it's a big game, but you know, when you get in the playoffs at this point, and whatever rounds, they're all big. You know, they're all going to be big. They're all going to be tough games. They're all going to have good opponents every week. So, whoever it is, it's really about us. We just need to go play to our potential. If we do that, I think things will work out for us.
Got you, Coach. Well, it's about 30 minutes till kickoff. I know you got a lot to do, so I'm going to go on and wrap it up here. Reporting live from Memorial Stadium, Zach Brown, KVUE-TV 25 News Now Sports.
Thanks, Zach. And another game going on tonight is between the Ganado Indians and the Mason Punchers. And Indians are going to have to rely on their quarterback to help lead them back to the promised land. And he had a heck of a game last week. Ganado Indians are trying to do something it has not done since 2019, and that's have a 10-win season. But that's not the only goal they have. They want a state title. And quarterback Bryce Ullman is hoping to do that in his first year under center.
We're just, I've been trying to stay more consistent here lately, focusing on the plays more, because in games I tend to have a couple mental errors and we run the wrong plays and stuff. But we're executing that really well this week, and we're locking in on that.
Ullman has been working with second-year head coach Josh Irvin for 7 years and was a backup under Kyle Burris Guerrero, but he feels like this team is built for a deep playoff run.
I would say we have a really good strength and speed, and their defensive backs, I would say, aren't the best, but we just got to use our speed and run good routes, and I got to be able to make accurate throws and get it to them. And if our passing game's on, then we should be really good.
Ullman threw for 4 touchdowns and 218 yards in last week's victory over Santa Maria in the bi-district round, leading him to be the athlete of the week. And Ullman predicts a defensive battle for the game tonight. Kickoff is at 7 in San Marcos at Rattler Stadium. Well, that's your sports. Don and Karina, back to you.
Thanks, Gino. We're going to be back in a moment. The National Zoo in Washington, D.C. plans to keep their animals warm during the cold season.
Before, Governor Greg Abbott's story warned us all. And a terrifying moment at the San Antonio Zoo just this year. One child critically injured. Acres of woodlands fill Victoria's Riverside Park, but rarely do we think about our aging trees.
This is hollow. You can see where it sits.
Adam Seibel explores the measures needed to protect our residents and visitors, where aging trees loom large. Riverside Park Trees, a 25 News Now Extra, Monday at 10 p.m.
Finally tonight, with winter coming, the National Zoo in Washington, D.C. is making sure its animals are protected. It might be chilly outside the flamingo enclosure, but inside those beautiful birds are essentially in a hot tub. In the great cat section of the zoo, there are heated dens. There's also a hay bed for them, so at night they can snuggle up, and I'm not lying. Oh, yeah.
Aw.
But you got to do
They're
stuff
having their
like
time
that,
lapse.
especially in Washington, D.C.
Absolutely.
Because it's much colder up there, obviously, than it is
They're out of
here.
their element
Those
completely.
flamingos are just missing a pina colada, though. 'Cause, I mean, they got a hot tub and
They got-
I know.
Yeah.
They've got it made, right? You know. But now, of course, the animals at the Texas Zoo don't have to worry about that, especially not this weekend.
No, well, not this week. Next week, though, I've got very interesting. We're going to be mild through the weekend, but then next week, I've got your Thanksgiving forecast. It's going to be partly cloudy on Thursday, low of 48 and a high of 64. So good sweater weather, no significant, certainly no ice, and certainly no significant rain. The only rain we got for the week is on Monday, end of Tuesday morning. And so a lot of people, going to be traveling. Gotta go see Grandma. So so far we've got some mild weather and some fairly cool temperatures and and no precipitation to worry about the roadways.
Especially on Wednesday, the day before.
Exactly. Wednesday and Thursday are looking pretty good.
All right, very good.
good.
Thank you, Mac, and thanks for joining us.
We hope to see you back here tonight for 25 News Now at 10.